We all have smartphones, and they are a wonderful tool for capturing video. At BKAT, there are many times we use smartphones to record footage. This video is all about smartphone video capturing. This is a basics for beginners. How to set up the camera, how to know which lens to use, how to set focus and exposure, how to avoid shaky cam footage, and finally, how to capture quality audio. Just some great tips to help you get the best video possible from your smartphone. Phone settings. I'm using an iPhone for this video, but the same settings should be available to you on your phone. I will navigate settings and scroll down to the camera icon. Click the icon and it will take you to the camera settings section. Let's start from the top. Formats. Inside the video capture option of the formats folder, make sure the Apple ProRes format is selected. Record video. Select 1080 HD at 30 frames per second. 30 frames per second is the standard for broadcast television in the US. In the record video folder, make sure the lock camera option is turned on. If you have the HDR video option, disable it. This will help streamline our workflow when editing. Record stereo sound. Make sure this is enabled. Grid. You will find the grid option in the composition section. This is optional to you, but I like having it on. It helps create a grid on screen and really helps when composing a shot. Lens usage. If you have a smartphone with one lens, then you're ready to go. But most phones come with at least 2 and some up to 5. Having multiple lenses will give your shooting possibilities more dimension and make your footage look more interesting. My camera has 3 lenses: wide, standard, and telephoto. Having these 3 lens options allows me to avoid pinch and digital zoom. The digital zoom gives most footage a distorted, pixelated look. It's not good. Instead, choose the right lens for the situation, and if needed, move yourself physically. Ultra wide lens. This is a really wide lens at 13mm focal length. It's great for capturing landscapes, revealing shots, or overall shots of locations. Just consider that wide angle lenses do have some distortion around the edges of the footage. Wide standard lens. This 1x lens has a 26mm focal length. This lens is the most commonly used lens and offers the best image quality of all 3 lenses. Standard is great for middle range shots and for shooting people. Telephoto lens. This 3x lens has a 77mm focal length. Use this lens to capture an object up close. It also works great if you want the subject in focus with a nice blurry background. Bottom line, using each lens when appropriate will give your footage diversity and help ensure the overall story you're telling will be interesting. Lock exposure and focus. You may notice when filming, the brightness levels in your video may change if you move from one area to the next. You may also notice that if you're recording an object and slightly move to another object, you may find that the video will go in and out of focus rapidly. This is because your camera is set to auto exposure and auto focus. Before you push the record button, please get in the habit of locking up these 2 things. Autofocus, auto exposure. To set focus and exposure on the subject you are filming, simply press your fingers over the subject you want in focus. Do this until the yellow box locks into your subject. A yellow indicator will appear displaying AEAF lock. Both your focus and exposure are now set. If you would like to further adjust your exposure, move the slider with the sun icon up and down until you are satisfied. After you lock focus, keep the distance between your phone and the subject consistent as you shoot your video. Ways to make your footage look more professional. You are now ready to shoot. Here are some additional tips to ensure that your footage looks great. Use a tripod. There are plenty of tripods for smartphones. Locking your camera in position will ensure level, stable footage. Use a selfie stick. If you need to film yourself or yourself with an additional person, a selfie stick will create some distance from the on-screen talent and the camera. A selfie stick will also help stabilize your footage. Use a gimbal. This tool is awesome if you want to capture moving shots. It will ensure your footage will look smooth as you are moving around when you are filming the action. Handheld. If you must film handheld, you want your footage to be as steady as possible. To best mitigate shaky cam, hold the phone with both hands. If you are moving around, make sure your entire bodily movements are slow and steady. Sound. Sound is so important when it comes to filming. Your smartphone has a decent external mic, but if you need to capture audio, here are a few things to consider. Internal mic. The internal mic of your smartphone will pick up audio, but your subject will need to be fairly close to the camera, which may not be optimal for the shot. In addition, the internal mic will also pick up a lot of background noise. So if you plan to use an internal mic, make sure your shooting location is quiet and your on-camera talent is close enough to clearly capture the audio. External mic option number 1. Using an external mic is the best way to ensure you will capture clean audio. Consider using a lav or lapel mic and plugging it directly into your phone. Lav mics are great because they can clip directly to the talent's clothing. This makes audio simple. Lapel mics work great if you're moving around. The mic will always be strapped to the on-camera talent, so clean audio is almost guaranteed no matter how much the talent moves. External mic option number 2. If your on-screen talent is stationary, using a shotgun mic is another great option. This mic can be set up just above the subject, out of frame of the camera. The pros for using this mic is that you will never have to see the camera on screen. Also, it will never rub against the on-talent's clothing. It may make the on-camera talent feel more comfortable because they are not tethered to a mic. Some will argue that the shotgun mic sounds a bit better than the lav mic. Now you're on your way. The best advice we could give is to just practice. You don't have to get everything right the first try. Thanks for watching. Happy shooting.